Hey guys, my name is Joel Fagans, and today I'll be doing a presentation of the British physician and computer scientist who's the father of the World Wide Web and who creates a very first website in the world named Tim Berners-Lee. Okay. So to talk about his childhood, he was born in June 8th, 1955 in London, United Kingdom. And both his parents, his mother name is Mary Lee Woods, and his father's name is Conway Berners-Lee. Both worked as engineers and both have done this project called Ferranti Mark I, which was a commercial like computer system. And this led Tim to be a very passionate in computers and technology at the time. So another thing that led him to be more interested in those things were when he used to play the toy trains at the time, and it helped him to learn more about electronics. And at the time, he then graduates with a first class degree majoring in physics. At the time, it wasn't computer science. He was majoring in physics at this college called the Queen's College of the University of Oxford in 1976. So during his time in Oxford, he built his own computer out of an old television, which to me was a little fascinating. So here's what the image looked like for what the Ferranti Mark I looks like, how his parents built it at the time. So to talk about his career, after he graduated college, he worked for this company called Plessy Telecommunication for 2 years as a start for his career job as an engineer. And then 2 years later, he moved at a different engineer company called DG Nash Ltd, where he does typesetting software. And he also worked as a freelance engineer by working in different companies, including this very popular, well-known organization called CERN, which is spelled CERN, as a software engineer back in 1980. So CERN was the same company where World Wide Web was founded and became very popular and known all over the world. But before that time even came to his presence, he worked there as a software engineer, later left at John Pohl's Image Computer System and became a director there, and then came back to CERN a few years later, back in 1984. And while he was working there, he also made this project called Hyperlink. And what Hyperlink is when you link it's a highlighted word or highlighted document on a single word that takes you to another different link. And hyperlink is which led to the development of a very first website ever created in the first ever World Wide Web. And to show you what the building looked like, where he works at CERN, this is what CERN looks like, the building. So to talk about his early web, during his earliest time when he created the first website in a web browser, like I mentioned in the previous slide, Tim Berners-Lee released the very first World Wide Web on Christmas 1990. And so within the next year of 1991, at the CERN company, he created he created a very first website and published a document called HTML tags. So what it is something like a text and encoding you see on the software we use today called Sublime Text. And what you see in the background is also considered HTML tags. He also created, and within the same year, he also created the World Wide Web Virtual Library. And he also created the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which in the initial is HTTP. So to give it a little description on what the World Wide Web is somewhat of an internet that is used to connect to different other hyperlinks. And back in 1992, there were only 50 users who were online at the time, 50 users, until 2 years later in 1994. That's when more and more users came along. 2 million users, a staggering increase at the time. And within the same year, he was also the founder of the organization called the World Wide Web Consortium at MIT. And here is an image of what a very first website looked like, the World Wide Web. This is his very first website he ever created at the time. And this image, this is a very first web browser that he created at the time as well. So this is his first website on the left, and this is a web browser on the right. So to talk about his awards and achievement, Tim Berners-Lee won many awards due to the hard work he has done for his first ever World Wide Web during the mid-1990s. So for example, he was awarded with the Software System Award in 1995. And what's really interesting about him is that the reason why he is called Sir Tim Berners-Lee is because Queen Elizabeth knighted him in 2004. He knighted him in 2004. And he also received the first Queen Elizabeth Prize for Engineering back in 2013, which I thought was also fascinating about his life when he achieved some things when it comes to World Wide Web at the time. And here is my information that I found online. Here's my works cited page, and that is my presentation. Thank you.